for my presentation, I'm focusing on competition ecology. The misconception that I addressed is that competition between organisms always involves direct aggressive interaction, which isn't true, obviously. This is going to be for 6th through 8th grade, and I'm focusing on the standard Bio 2.1.3, which explain various ways organisms interact with each other and with their environments, resulting in stability within ecosystems. This is going to include like predation, competition, parasitism, and mutualism, along with a few others. So I focus on the 5E lesson plan. For engagement, we're going to focus on review videos just to get them back in the swing of things, just to learn about abiotic and biotic factors, and they'll be filling in definitions as well. And then we'll fill in this chart, which will explain the different types of interactions based off of the definitions that we've been given or that we come up with. For the Explore, we're going to do stations that involve the 2 technologies that I'm putting into this lesson plan, that are the simulations and virtual labs. For the simulation, I did a 360 video that shows the animals interacting with shows animals and other organisms interacting with each other, as well as for my virtual lab, I did a population ecology lab that focuses on population growth and how the organisms interacting affect each other. And then for day 2, I'm going to do explain, elaborate, and evaluate. The explain and elaborate kind of go together. Well, they'll do a voice thread and a group poster for each of them and be able to explain what the type of interaction is, give an example such as the sea anemone and the clownfish, and be able to use that to say, hey, this is what would happen to these organisms if they weren't having this type of interaction. Then for the evaluate, I'm going to do a Kahoots that will allow the class to get into teams, possibly a little bit of extra credit and for the winning team, and be able to answer the questions that are given and be able to work together to come up with answers to the questions. So I did, like I mentioned, I did the virtual labs and simulations. I did a YouTube video that's a 360 YouTube video so they can interact with it. It's very much a simulation, so they can keep moving around and seeing the different types of interactions. And then I did a competition online lab, like I mentioned, as my virtual lab. The 360 video, they can see the animals interacting with different organisms in a non-aggressive way, so going back to the misconception. And then for the online lab, they can see how 2 organisms living together, they can affect each other and the population sizes as well. Up here you can see my concept map and how it all connects back to this misconception that I've made. I expect the students to be able to understand by the end of this that there is more than just aggressive competition. I also expect to see the standard addressed as well, and that the students will get a lot out of this. The students will be able to work independently and in groups to learn about the different types of interactions and be able to tell me by the end what they are. I will be going around as the teacher and asking questions to keep the students thinking outside the box and be able to keep an understanding of what we're learning. There's some pictures